Hello YouTube, here's one of the videos I've been willing to make for a long time now, but I just didn't get around to doing so. And since I just happened to come across a second example of this beautiful citizen diver I will be presenting today, I thought that this is as good a time as any. So today we'll be taking a look at the citizen professional diver 300-meter depth rating, a very rare watch. You will see it in both its versions. This is the SPY56-9822 with the matching bracelet. And this is the version without the bracelet on the rubber strap, the SPY56-9812. Now this is obviously not the same strap, since it's been a long time since this watch came out, but it's as close to the original one as possible. I've retained the original buckle, very rare buckle which has no decompression limits. As you all know, if you go beneath the 200-meter rating as a diver, you will need to have a special decompression wait time on a decompression chamber, and usually the decompression time limits are printed on the rubber strap, as was the practice with the newer citizen models. You can see this rubber strap here has the decompression limits, and this older model, interestingly enough, had it on the buckle. So what is the last model that Citizen had with the simpler Quartz engines? This is the 2854 Quartz engine, if I'm not mistaken. It's nothing to write home about. I think it's a no-yield engine, but it's pretty robust. Both watches were able to function properly after a long time of not working, with a little lubrication and cleaning up of the movement, and a new battery, of course. Battery time for those watches is approximately 3 years with a factory battery. And on the decorated case back, this has a very interesting case back with, I guess you could say, a deep diver's helmet engraved. Unfortunately, they don't make case backs like this anymore, and you can see that on the case backs you have the approximate time that the last battery change took place. Obviously this is from a long time ago. Those watches are now quite a bit old. This came from April 1989. The build quality is excellent. This is a complete titanium build from top to bottom. I believe that only this point on the clasp is stainless steel. Otherwise, the rest of the clasp and the very interesting bracelet is completely made out of titanium. Now the dial is a very interesting champagne colored dial with a very discrete sunburst pattern. It's obviously day-date, and it comes with dual Japanese and English day wheel, I'm afraid, sorry. Nothing else on the dial save for the Citizen Quartz and the Professional Diver 300-meter writings. Pretty Spartan dial, but very well made. You can see how the indexes catch the light. A very nice effect of the thick crystal mirroring the indexes across the sides. The bezel is a 60-click bezel with a very reassuring click. Not too easy, not too hard to turn. If you can do it the way I do, it lines up perfectly on both watches. The second Hans mark hits the mark every single time, and they keep pretty accurate time. I've been timing them both, and they hover around the +3 to +6 seconds per month. And this is pretty excellent even by today's standards. No difference, of course, on either watch. On the case exactly the same. This watch, oh, this is also April 1989, so they were made right about the same time, and they held up extremely well. That's pretty interesting with this titanium compound that Citizen used back then. It's virtually scratch-proof, despite all the time that those watches came out. Now, these are the last, as I said, of the Sported DV line of watches that originally came out with a number of models for both men and women on the 300-meter depth rating. It's about the same time the Aqualand watches came out, and right about a year or a couple of years further down the line, the first ecodrives came out. So this is the last model that persisted up to, I believe, 1991 on Citizen catalog. And after that, all the 300-meter dive watches were ecodrive powered watches. And of course, there is a range of the 200-meter automatic diving watches that Citizen held on to for all that time. As I said, a very interesting casebook design. It reminds of the ashtray, the Seiko ashtray. It's a left-handed model with a beautiful crown. A little bit temperamental, the crown. Not the least bit, because it's for a left-hander, I suppose. A lot of attention to detail. Now, the bracelet is extremely rare. I've been very fortunate to pick this one up on a very good condition, because usually the gold-plated small links tend to lose their glitter. It's, I guess you could say it's sort of a Beads of Rice bracelet, but not exactly a Beads of Rice bracelet. It's very robust for the time, and there's even a diving extension that you can open up on the clasp. Very, very interesting design, those watches. Been very fortunate to pick both of these up. Didn't know if could get them to work. They both did. They are very robust movements. Now, the watchmakers don't really enjoy working on this movement for some reason, but they do power up and work perfectly once you clean them up and put in a new battery. This is a testament to the robustness of the earlier Quartz movements, which were really made to last. Obviously, if you are a diver, then it's not practical to have a Quartz watch with a battery time of just 2 or 3 years, because you'll have to open it up, change the gaskets, run a test every once in a while. But there is something very practical about this watch as a grab-and-go watch. You can just pick it up, it keeps excellent time. There's no need to do anything else. Maybe change the date once in a while if the month has less than 31 days, since they do not have a perpetual calendar. Other than that, a beautiful watch that you can wear out as well. You know, the gold accents, some paint dial is something that you don't really see too often with a diving watch. Right, so I believe I commented on just about anything. We'll just cut away for the wrist shot for both watches. And here it is on my wrist. My wrist is 18.5 centimeters across. This watch being 42mm watch sticks pretty well. Now the lag size, I forgot to tell you about it, it's 22mm wide. So the watch sits very comfortably. It's all titanium, so it's very light. It's a watch that you can wear all day and not really feel, subdued by the weight, because otherwise a diving watch that reaches 300 meters tend to be extremely heavy if it's a stainless steel model with a steel bracelet, but this one is very light and comfortable. The buckle looks very well with the Citizen logo on it, classical Citizen logo, and the watch, as you can see, catches the light very, very nicely. And it's a watch that got a lot of positive comments from every get-together. I took it to. It really screams vintage, but as you can see, they tend to come in pretty good shape. The titanium compound seems to be hardened, so they don't pick up a lot of scratches. If the bracelet is in good condition, then you can very much enjoy this watch in your everyday grab-and-go configuration. Let's put on the rubber strap model as well. And here's a watch on the rubber strap. As you can see, the 22mm lag strap serves it well. This tapers down to 20mm with a very interesting decompression limit buckle. I'm not sure I put it up correctly. Anyway, and this watch even looks good on the rubber strap. I think it accentuates the case size even more. So there you have it. Thanks for watching. I believe that these watches are really worth hunting for. I had one in the past, sold it too soon, so now I picked up both of these. I suppose I should sell one of those two. Can't really decide which one, but they do look gorgeous. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos to come.